Good morning. It is Friday, August 23rd, 2024. This is Option Pit Live. I am Mark Sebastian, your only option. I am joined by one Queen of the Candles, Leisha J. Leslie. Good morning, Leisha. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Mark? Good morning.
Good morning. We've got a lot to unpack. It's been a weird week, a
I'd
very
say.
weird week.
I'd say.
So obviously at the there's no economic data hitting right now, but there is a giant pink gorilla sitting in the room named Jerome Powell, who speaks today, which I'm surprised that this is taking such a big effect on the market. It's not like we didn't just hear from Powell a couple weeks ago, and we didn't just see the Fed minutes. And I mean, Leisha, what's your reaction to the movement in the market over one, the recovery, the speed of the recovery? I think is maybe part of the reason why people are freaking out a little bit. And then two, what's the reaction to kind of the price action this week so far?
The speed of the recovery has been incredible, right? I don't think anyone really believed it. People were late to the party, trying to probably chase it because it was surprisingly very powerful rally.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is we did close this gap over here. From the very first original gap before that sell-off was on July 17th, and we just closed that yesterday, which is interesting to close it and then reverse. And we have a very large bearish candle yesterday, but we're rallying this morning, so we'll be hard to say. We could either continue it lower, we could have an inside Harami day and say that this is going to, an inside Harami day will negate this very bearish red candle and that we continue higher. I think it's going to be an interesting one. The only thing I'd have to say about Powell coming back is that giant revision, the year-over-year revision, which they were saying, oh, it could be as much as 1 million. Oh, but it was only 818 jobs. The revision on the jobs. But apparently they do that every year, and it's a big number every year. So both sides are guilty of fudging the numbers throughout the year, and then they do a big.
I'd never heard that revision before, and I'd never. If both sides do it, how come I'd never heard of this before?
Actually, now that you mention it, I don't think I have either.
Yeah, right? So I think that's a load of baloney. That's a load of baloney. I've never heard of that before.
It's kind of bizarre.
It is kind of bizarre.
So Powell has the labor mandate, right? He has the labor market as one of his juggling balls. So maybe that's what people are looking for, how he's going to react to that number. Yeah. Which we haven't heard yet. That's the only thing I think. I don't know.
Now, you mentioned the word Harami. Can you show us? I mean, I know this is kind of on the spot.
That's okay.
A lot of people probably watching don't know what Harami is. Can you maybe find an example of what a Harami might be? Now, my understanding is Harami is Japanese for
pregnant woman.
Oh, there's one, right?
Here's one right here.
Yeah.
You have a very big sell-off, bearish engulfing after the rally. And then you get an inside Harami day that's telling you, oh, the sell-off is not going to happen immediately, which it didn't. It rallied a little bit higher, and then it sold off. So it's an inside day. It can be any color candle. And it tells you that it's going to not so fast on the downside. And it works both ways, too. Works on the upside, too. You get an inside day and say that it says this rally isn't going to hold. Not so fast. But
so you get a big bearish engulfing candle or a bullish engulfing candle. And then you get a inside day inside of the candle.
Right.
So reversal, but it's inside the candle. And that creates the Harami. Like the
Looks like a pregnant
just
woman.
pointed
Yeah.
out right there. Not a lot of them on the SPX lately.
Yeah, I'm not seeing very many here.
So all right. So yeah, I got to tell you though, Alicia, you were a pretty good godsend for me. I was watching. You and I did Zero DTE together. Obviously, every Thursday, you and I are live on Zero DTE, and I'm sitting there watching, waiting to kind of walk through a couple of things. And you go, guys, and I'm like, okay, I better pay attention. She's like, I think we're gonna get a reversal, and I'm like, oh, I better set up my bearish positions.
Did you really?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, worked out all right.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing my pitchforks on the 5 minutes mark, and I'm not going to add it right now, but they are working. And I'm trying to test going in and out on quick
Okay.
day trades. So we'll see how that works. But yes, they've been working. Oh my God, what about that last print? 10 points in 1 minute yesterday. Did you see that?
No, I did. What happened? I didn't.
So annoying.
What happened? Oh my gosh.
I
Were
was
we
along
down
the
an
550.
additional?
I was along the 557 puts, and they were ready to go out at $1. And here's the
And
1 minute. And look at that.
are you kidding me?
No, it was 10
Those
points. We're on
cheaters.
our way to 557. Oh my
Those
gosh.
cheaters.
So annoying. Just like that. Literally
Those
1 minute, really
cheaters.
$10.
That's crazy.
And then of course, after it goes down. Very
Yeah,
annoying.
that is annoying. So here's a question for you. Apple. Is it an impenetrable fortress? Because even on the worst day, it still barely goes down.
No, actually, Apple's been fighting up against some resistance here. Here we go. Apple is up against the median line now for about a week almost, all this week, since last Friday, and hasn't been able to break out through there. And yesterday you had a nice bearish engulfing on top of the doji there and looking bearish. Now this morning, everything's up a little bit this morning, but I don't know if I'd be fooled. A lot of time, like I said, we could turn into Harami Day inside. It could be a chance to go short before we go lower.
Mm-hmm.
The catalyst though is Jerome Powell speaking, and he's speaking early this morning.
He
So
is. He is speaking at 10 o'clock Eastern time.
I'm thinking the charts after yesterday looking like they want to pull back, but as I said,
look at that rally was just nasty.
yeah,
And we'll see. I'm up in the air. I am up in the air. What I will say is if we do get a rally, it is going to be I think a pullback could be a little more muted than a rally. If there's a rally, it could be really, really, really face ripping.
yes, I think it could be, especially after yesterday.
Yeah.
But if we pull back, it could be, not too bad. Maybe 5,500 retest.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy. We could just swallow here, right? Once he speaks. I wanted to point out the dollar has hit a bottom here.
Oh.
On the bottom of the pitchfork there. And has a bullish pattern, bullish engulfing, and looks like it wants to come back and rally.
Well, don't look now, but the Japanese yen has picked up a pretty decent amount of.
So that was all just like a flash in the pan, that trade, and bringing the whole market down.
I guess so.
Kind of wild.
It is wild. I mean, in the end, I think I do think there is some serious issues on the commercial real estate side. Yeah, and when and here's where I'm concerned about this is going to sound really stupid, but it's exactly
But
the
you're going to
test.
say it anyway.
But it's exactly the test I use on where things are overheated. So I'm talking to a kid, and he's really interested in finance. He's in college, and I'm like, "What area do you want to be in now?" Investment banking. I want to be a trader. I want to be a banker, like a, banker, something like that is what I'd expect, right? I want to be
Marketing, yeah.
in financial consultant, something like that. And he says, I'm interested in private credit.
Private credit.
Yeah. Personal loans. Personal loans. And I said, And then I thought about the amount of text messages I get for people offering me helicopter money.
Annoying.
Yeah. And then I thought about the amount of people that are probably taking it with all this inflation. And then I thought about what if the economy just doesn't even go into recession, but just ticks back a little bit worse.
Well, think about it. Go ahead.
And then I thought about, well, what if people can't start paying those loans? And then the cascading effect of that.
Well,
and then you add in the commercial real estate, and now we've got a full-blown recession, and now we've got a full-blown bear market. That's my scenario.
Well, think about it. It could be the 2.0 of all those mortgages, the subprime mortgage debacle, right? People taking money, they're handing people money they knew they couldn't pay it back. Oh, it's all going to be okay.
Assets to recover this time. At least in subprime mortgages, there was a house.
Right. Now, I mean, that could be happening. That you do see stories of people borrowing to buy food.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Now, private credit is great. There could be some really great opportunities, without private credit, I think places like Option Pit might not exist, things like that. But, because they invest in startup businesses and things like that. But, I think that it's gotten a little overextended. You add and the fact that like 21-year-olds are interested in getting into that business, that's the part that scares me.
That tells me thing.
That it's a thing. Yeah. That tells me that it's a little too hot, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that tells me. What do you guys think? You guys interested in private credit? Anybody? I'm going to take that as let us know. And then commercial real estate's the other one. I mean, we know that buildings in places like Philadelphia, Chicago, New York are San Francisco in particular are defaulting on their loans. It's a real problem.
It's funny though. It's like it's been talked about, kind of more like whispered about. The commercial real estate, but yet nothing has really. There haven't been any repercussions yet.
No, nothing's developed out of it.
But it's been talking about for a couple of years now, several years.
Yeah.
Since COVID.
So, Leisha, we what's funny is I jumped right into news stories. We didn't even go through your charts. I know we looked at SPX. Let's take a look at, there's SPX. Obviously, we kind of talked about that, and maybe today's a harami, which is Japanese for pregnant.
Yeah.
What about the Qs? Where do you see them?
So I think today, if we do move, it'll be like a 5,500 test or a 5,600 test, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Qs violated some support here yesterday on the close. They're also, see now when we open right here, that's some resistance right there. Just those two little bottoms there is resistance, and it's halfway up that. So it could turn into a harami, but if we end up trading lower, we could retest that gap down here, 468.42. On the upside, we have resistance 488.89.
Now, if we're going to continue this rally, I actually think we're going to see a little mini rotation out of the Qs and back into IWM and the Dow. Want to know what you see there? I thought, relatively speaking, IWM looked pretty strong yesterday.
Yeah, not so bad. Not as bad, right? It kind of held yesterday's low, or held the previous day's low. Yeah, this could be consolidating here, ready to trade another leg higher. Your MACD is just crossing over. 5 resistance 217.47. Oh, here we go.
What is that? A crash rocket?
We have construction upstairs.
Oh, jeez. What are they constructing?
Sorry, it's condominium living.
Oh man.
I know.
You know, when I was when little Mark was a baby, you know, we owned our condo. The condo owners upstairs had rented out theirs, and the woman who lived there was incredibly nice, but she had a job where she had to get up really early, and she wore high heels. And so she got up at 5 a.m. and was walking around in heels, and she kept waking up little Mark at 5 a.m.
You want to strangle her?
Well, you know, this went on for like 3 weeks, and then, you know, I finally knocked on the door and I said, "Hey, here's kind of the situation." And she was so nice, so apologetic about it. Well, one, I wasn't a jerk. I didn't yell at her or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so apologetic. She the next day she gave us flowers and a bottle of wine. And then, so what she started to do was she left her shoes. She set up like a little rug, by her door.
Yeah.
Put her shoes on there and then walked out. She was absolutely a sweet, sweet person. It was very nice. But yes, we all have our moments. Oh my. All right. So we looked at DXY. The other one everyone keeps asking about is crude. Is the bottom in crude?
I think so. I wrote about it last night. I have this large median line going back to, that's January of 21. This is March of 23. This is where it came up in January of 21 and consolidated around it and then took off. And since then has not traded below that red median line. It's tested it 4 times. And we're just bouncing off of it now. Sorry.
Fine.
So I'm thinking about, if you bouncing off of it. Oh my gosh.
It's fine. That's fine.
Bouncing off of it and getting some confirmation today, which leads me to my stock pick. I'm thinking Oxy may be double bottom here.
I'm with you.
It may be a double bottom. I'm looking for a confirmation this morning, though. I wanted to trade higher. I think it could trade back up here 59.25.
All right, we'll just power through this since you've got construction above you, and wrap it up here pretty quick.
And maybe higher.
Yeah.
So that was my choice. What stock are you looking at?
I'm liking. You know, I'm a little worried. Amazon. I liked Amazon. It did get that big pop. And now, you know, last week I said buy Amazon. I think I was right up until yesterday. And then I think it's time to take another look now that Triple M has had time to consolidate. I think it's going to make another leg higher.
Oh yeah, looks like you're. All you need to do is clear these previous highs.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's right there doing that.
Absolutely.
Looks like you could trade it for 132, 133.
All right. So, Leisha, what do you? It's obviously 8:53, and in between artillery shells, what do you
Sorry.
think is going to happen with the market for the rest of the day?
Like I said, possibly a Harami day, so don't get caught up. Could be an opening that gives you an opportunity to go short, but we still have the election rally, so maybe not. Maybe yesterday's just a little anomaly.
All right. Well, here I'm going to take 2 seconds and kind of give you a heads up on what we're looking at for. What's that?
You want to share your screen?
No.
Oh.
We are so right now. Obviously, S&P futures are up about 30. They're pricing at about a $40 move into the Powell speech. That starts at 10 o'clock. I think that's probably not expensive enough. I think we're going to move more than $40. So I am going to be looking for some movement. On the downside, I think it's probably enough. On the upside, it is not, because I think if he comes out real dovish, we get a really, really, really nasty rally. And that's my take. All right, folks. So Andrew is on assignment today. We're going to just have a real short, brief show to here because Leisha is dealing with artillery fire in the background. So for Leisha J. Leslie, the queen of the candles, I am Mark Sebastian, your only option. This was Option Fit Live. We hope you have a great rest of your trading day and have a wonderful weekend. Thanks again, everybody.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.